So, Future Advent has tasked me to entertain you guys while he does his setup. And to do so, let's go on a rant, because there's a lot of things I want to talk about. So, the arcade. It is basically a gamer's paradise. It is heaven on earth for me, because man, every time I go there, it's always fun. There's a lot of games there, a lot of super fun things to do. Whether it's the games, the rhythm games, the racing games, and then the skill-based games, you get the basketball and stuff like that, the bowling, all that kind of stuff. But you know, there's one thing that makes an arcade experience not fun. Broken arcade machines. And man, there's a lot of things to talk about here, and I just like, it gets on my nerves sometimes. So let's talk about a few examples, alright? Because if I go through all of them, well, this video is gonna take forever and you guys are not gonna see the rest of the stream, basically. Alright, so let's start off with my favorite arcade rhythm game of all time, Sound Voltex. Man, that game is the GOAT, you know. I love that game. It's just a really fun game, you know. But again, it's not fun when something breaks, when the controller breaks. Oh man. Let's talk a little bit. First of all, first case, the usual thing that happens on pretty much all rhythm games, broken buttons, right? So you got those kind of people that for whatever reason play like it's the end of the world, something, playing like crazy, right? But I'm not talking about just playing like normal, playing some super hard level 20 or whatever, right? But some of them just tap so hard. Now that I understand, maybe it's just, you know, let's just say it's the lifespan of the buttons, which that I can understand. But what I don't understand sometimes is that the knobs, I swear to God, the knobs always breaks. And for this one, I have proof. I saw people did this, and I'm just like, why do you do that kind of thing? Let me demonstrate. Let's just say that these are the knobs, alright? So for the usual Sound Voltex player, you just gonna put your hands like this and then just, you know, spin the knobs and whatever, right? Rotate the knobs. Simple stuff. Yeah, this is how you're supposed to play. Not like, you got people that plays like, because you got those laser that goes left and right, like, you know, the snapping. And then people just do, and then it's just, it just breaks the stuff, right? Don't do that. Don't do that, really. It breaks the knob way faster than it should have. And every time I play, okay, not every time, sometimes everything works, but when something doesn't work, it's usually the knobs, and it's painful to play with a broken knob. So please, play it like this, and like, you get the point. That's for SDPX. But of course, it's not exclusive to that game. What about something like Dance Rush Stardom? Because man, Dance Rush Stardom, I also love that game. It's probably my favorite dancing game, you know, dancing rhythm game. It's, yeah, I have more fun in DRS than, you know, something like Pump It Up. Although both are slightly different game, Dance Rush Stardom is more of a freestyle kind of game, and oh man, it's such a good game. But again, things happen there as well. And man, it's just so weird, alright? So basically, I took pictures. Here's for DRS. This is a normal machine, all fine, looks fine. And then when you step on it, what the fuck is this? What is this? Look at the sensors. This one is super weird. It's like, what, I have 4 foots now? Yeah, obviously with this kind of bug, I cannot play properly. And I'm not sure what's the cause. I guess just people, like kids stomping on them a lot, and then it just breaks. Like, but the weird thing is, this machine is okay. It was actually fine a few days ago, and then suddenly it just breaks. Amazing. And this happens so many times that it's probably like this is like the last remaining DRS that I have access to that wasn't broken before, and now it's broken. So how am I supposed to play Dance of Stardom without the machines breaking? It's just, man, I don't know what's the advice for this one. Just don't step things too hard, you know, just play like a normal person, don't break shit. Alright? Now, that kind of thing, these two games, these examples, fair enough, alright? Again, it might just be lifespan, but the next one is even worse. Alright, who's here has played One Gun Midnight Maximum Tune, aka WMMT, WMT, you know? It's basically an arcade racing game, and oh yeah, it's a pretty fun one. And there's like a lot of people. It's like probably the most famous game here in my country, Indonesia. So what's up with that game? What breaks? Okay, this one, a lot of things to say. First of all, you're playing a racing game, so you got the shifter, right? And let me do another demonstration, all right? Let's say this is the shifter, right? You just shift like normal, and then this is the wheel. Simple stuff, right? And then you got people playing, you got kids playing, like over here, for example. All right? And then, get this. You're supposed to like drive normal, like, yeah, you just shift down, shift up, you know, quick, simple stuff. And then yet you get children just like, it's just like, it's just, they play with the shift so hard, which probably in an attempt to make them look cool, even though it's not. And it just breaks the shift, which is very annoying because it happens so many times where the shift just, you know, doesn't work because people does this kind of thing a lot. And not to mention there's also the broken steering, the wheels. Now, let me explain. In a game like this, in a game with, you know, basically multiplayer racing, you got those rammers. And in this game, it's basically a common thing. You know, people does that a lot, you know, blocking and everything, because there's no speed limit, right? No speed penalty, that's what I'm trying to say. And yeah, so people try their best to ram a lot, which, you know, I don't personally do that. I don't really like that kind of thing. You know, I like clean racing, which is, yeah, but I was like, if people does that to me, whatever, you know, it is part of the game. But because of that, people started slamming the steering. Like, you're supposed to be like this, and then you see a car on the left, and you just, whoa. And guess what? That also breaks the wheel. And then, yeah, when it breaks, then whoops. Guess nobody else can play the game now because the steering breaks, and yeah, it happens more often than not, you know. So that's one thing, you know. Oh, and while we're on the topic of these machines specifically, let's talk about the arcade itself, you know. I'm playing in Time Zone, which is basically the most popular arcade in this country. And basically, they, you know, they have the machines and stuff like that, you know, it's all good. They have the credit system where you use your card, you know. Let me just give an example. You basically have one of these cards to swipe, right? Cool, no problem. Except when there is a problem. When you swipe, it steals your credit, and yet the game doesn't receive the credit. How about that? Doesn't that piss you off? Because it happens, it actually happens. It happens not to me, but to someone beside me while we're doing some racing and stuff like that, you know, cool stuff. Well, basically this guy got his credit eaten, not once, but twice. And he didn't even get the credit. Amazing. So it breaks. Mine also breaks. I cannot swipe for some reason. So the machine just basically breaks. Here's someone trying to fix the machine. And yeah, good thing is he got refunded by it, but this happens more than once and in multiple places as well, multiple time zones, not just in this one, but in another place. So, Time Zone, fix your shit. It only happens to you for some reason. Now, am I done? Almost. Now I'm just talking about the games that I play, but there's one game that I've been playing quite a lot recently, and oh boy, this one, this one actually has a lot of drama going on, and I was there to see it, you know. Maimai. All right, let's talk a little bit about Maimai because oh man, Maimai. Again, love that game. It's super demanding, super tough. Really, you know, it's an arm workout basically. It's just man. It's tough, but it's fun. Now, what's wrong? Now, as I have said before with Sound Voltex, you know, the buttons. Oh, well, it gets worse. Yeah, alright. You want to see what happens with a broken Maimai button? Do you want to see how it looks like? Ta-da! There it is. That is busted. That is clearly busted. Those who were with me at that time knew that happens. And it's not just visual, alright? It looks cracked and everything. Does the button work? No, it doesn't. Like, I play in that machine and then I just shit mess all over the place. And it's not just because I have skill issue. I know I do have skill issue, but I know when I miss, you know? And then I hit it and then I just miss out of nowhere. It's super weird. And then the touchscreen as well. Oh god, the touchscreen. The touchscreen also breaks. Pretty often too. So yeah, it's like, it's more rare to find a machine, a Maimai machine that works than the one that doesn't, because it always breaks. Especially on the time zone that I frequent in. Those who knows. So what's up with this? Now there's like a lot of things that happen. Most of them are stories from what I heard from my friends, which is basically people playing like absolute shit, slamming the buttons and everything, have zero care for the machine, a public machine at that, alright? This is not just their machine, this is like a machine that we all use. And they just break it. We better care in the world, like it's not, well, whatever, you know, it's not mine, you know, and you just play it like, like crazy, you know. And then you got those people that basically, you know, in my mind, there's like the difficulty, you know, and then some people play things way harder than they should, and they just like, instead of playing properly, and then just like, totally over-exaggerated right there, but you get the point. People does that, a lot of people, so, yeah, well, I see people does that, and it's just, I was like, no. like, okay, to be fair, I did this kind of thing before, you know, I tried something really hard that I shouldn't, like Pandora Paradox, but just once, you know, I was just curious, and then I'm just immediately obliterated, got totally humbled, and I'm just like, nope, I'm just gonna play normally. But yeah, you got people that does this kind of stuff, and and they won't listen. That's the thing. It's good if people listen, but they don't. And there's like a lot of cases where people don't listen and they just do whatever the hell they want. So, Jesus Christ. Like, there are some other things too, like how Maimai have the, you know, some etiquettes, because you play together, right? You don't just play alone. And there are those kind of things which, you know what? People that break those rules, that it sucks, but whatever. What I'm trying to say is, please do not break public machines. Goddamn. Because I want to play the game, and I want to play in a machine that actually works. So yeah, okay, enough rant. What's my point? Please don't do this shit. And if you do, I have one thing to say to you. And this is a family-friendly stream. I'm gonna say it in my native language. Bangsat kau.